Well, I work with the processes quite a bit, and I don't very often easily go into doing. And I remember I worked with a process in A New Beginning quite a bit, where Abraham suggested a minute working on being, and then 7 minutes on having, and 7 minutes on doing. And that after about 30 days of doing that, you would see things come in alignment. And I would work on being, feel great. And having that, if I remember right, suggested looking at the feeling with that too. I'd feel great. And then I'd have my 7 minutes writing on doing, and I couldn't find 7 minutes to write about doing. And so I was just more comfortable looking for better feelings about me and the way I felt about things, and having kind of got me there too, right?
Before you go further, we want to address what you wanted to talk about when you sat down, and we want to talk about the difference between the being and the doing, or the difference between focusing upon vibration and focusing upon action or behavior. So when you are thinking in terms of action or behavior, we're not trying to talk you out of action, because action is one of the most delicious aspects of being physically focused. We are wanting to help you to find action in alignment, not using your action to compensate for misalignment. And most people aren't tending to their vibration. They're not tending to their story. They're not closing their gap. They have no real awareness of what they're doing vibrationally, and they are using their action then to try to fix things. And it's no wonder people are exhausted and tired and ineffective. Where if you tend to how you want to be or feel first, and then you think in terms of what you want to have, and then you think in terms of what you will do about it, often it causes an alignment that makes the action part of your life then an addition to. In other words, it enhances when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and then you participate in action such as sex or eating something or intertwining in some intellectual discussion. It is so emphatically delicious, so much more than it would be if you didn't tend to your vibrational alignment first. So action is a wonderful thing. The hospitals are filled to the brim with people who are trying to take action to compensate for inappropriate thought. It's like pushing a noodle. It has no power. Good. So now,
so I guess here's the thing. It's kind of like yesterday you mentioned, with a woman that was having a little difficulty with weight, that she might spend as much time savoring her food in her mind, in her attitude, in her vibration before she went into the food. And that would be a wonderful way to have her food.
Working on vibration first and action later. Taking the action once the inspiration is there. And therefore enhancing the physical activity because the alignment has been accomplished first.
Okay. Well, sometimes what happens with me, for instance, I like to work with the processes in the morning. And I'll be working there, and I'll be kind of applying a process or two in my mind. And my eyes will be closed. It's just kind of like an active, not very quiet meditation. There's an active thought processes going on. Always, I feel like most often, or often at least, lean towards better feeling thoughts. And I won't want to open my eyes because I can feel the resistance, even in just regular living of life. There always seems to be some resistance. And I'm wondering, is there a backwards way of looking at it? Like, is there a certain amount of resistance that's necessary in living life that you can just kind of skate on the top of, or?
There is some energy in resistance in that desires are born out of it. And it's the reason that you decided to come forth and be physical, because you wanted the benefit of the contrast that would parlay you into expansion. And once you've expanded, then of course, there will always be a little tension between what life has just caused you to become and what you're able to catch up with. But we want to say to you that We think you're trying way too hard in all of this. We want you to just sort of relax a little bit.
I thought that, yeah.
Just be easier about it. The thing that we've been saying to a lot of people, and we're just going to give it to you full on here, is that there are 3 steps to the process. Step 1 is taken care of. You've asked. Step 2 is taken care of. Source is responding. Step 3 is your work, which means chill out. Step 3 is be easy. We could not write a book that says this is always the right path for everyone. It's just from where you are, just reach for something that feels a little better than where you are. So, for example, you say something like, I'm doing pretty good, but I know I could do better. A little upstream. I'm doing pretty good. More downstream. I'm doing pretty good and understanding more all the time. More downstream. I'm doing pretty good. In fact, I'm feeling really good about what I'm doing. More downstream. I'm eager to figure this out more of the time. More downstream. I'm getting so I know what to do all the time. Even more downstream. I like being more in charge of my life. Even more downstream. This just gets easier and easier. Even more downstream. I'm not sure I'm meditating quite right. More upstream.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing all right. I don't have to figure it out all right now. More downstream. I love these processes that Abraham has been giving us. More downstream. Oh, there's so many processes that Abraham's been giving us. More upstream. I'm not sure I'm doing this process right. More upstream. This process really helps me. More downstream. I like this process the best of all. More downstream. I have no idea why they offered this process. More upstream. This process is probably good for some people. More downstream. I like to pick and choose those that are best for me. More downstream. Feels good that there's so many things to choose from. More downstream. I'm realizing that there's no right or wrong way to do anything. More downstream. I'm realizing that it's just my job to soothe myself into alignment. More downstream. I'm starting to feel that my source within me is always aware of me and calling me downstream. I'm really getting at how I can hook into that. More downstream. I can feel when I'm leaning that way, and I can feel when I'm leaning the other way. This is really good. I've come into conscious awareness of my guidance. I actually can tell. And I'm enjoying the subtleness of it. I'm enjoying how I'm getting so that I can feel it. This is really fun. I'm starting to understand. I can't get it wrong because I'm never done. So wherever I'm standing, I can just lean more downstream. I can just make myself feel better or not. It's all up to me. I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad I attracted this. I'm glad I know what I know. I know that it will come to me through lots of different avenues. Everything around me is actualizing to show me what my vibration is. I got all these indicators, these lovely indicators, emotional indicators, manifestational indicators. I'm doing so good. I love being alive. I'm glad I came. I like being in this environment. I like the variety. I like picking and choosing. I like tuning in. I like being who I am. I like the idea of what's coming. I like what's come. I'm happy where I am. I'm eager for what's coming. I'm happy where I am. I'm eager for what's coming. I'm happy where I am. I'm eager for what's coming. I'm happy where I am. I'm eager for what's coming. I'm happy where I am. I'm eager for what's coming. It's just perfect.
Thank you very much.
We are complete.